Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Yana Boss, back with another video. Oops, okay. We are going to be going through the NJ Devil 100 miler and all the its and bits of my race experience. So, yeah, it's in South Jersey, right out here. First 100 miler in the books, got a belt buckle. Fun stuff. This is my fourth time recording this video. Very fun because for some reason things just can never record, but we'll get through it. Yeah, so as you saw, that was the map being traced out. But before we get to the race, let's do some pre-race stuff. First of all, big sweet tooth. Gotta stop in New York, have some funnel cake, have some fried Oreos. If you haven't tried those now, you know. Yes. Pre-race meal was actually something marvelous, something just so splendid. So splendid that it's missing. Frosted Flakes, they're great. Yeah. Whole box with half a gallon of milk, just washed it. And the other issue I had, just a minor setback, was that I go to school at Penn over here. Race start is Little Egg Harbor. And so I could not starts at 6 a.m. I could not find a singular Uber to take me over at that time of night, which would have been leaving around 3:30. So I took an Uber, ran into some police as typical with Ubers. Yeah. And so we get to the spot and I'm kind of just chilling there, see some bunnies.
Okay, so we're here at Lake Upsicami, camped out, decked out, luxurious lifestyle. It's just like an hour before. Amazing stuff.
End up getting about an hour and a half of sleep out in the woods. Here's the bunny, best part of the entire night because there weren't really highlights. It was a lot of being cold, but it was epic because the sign said it was epic, no Fortnite. And also saw an old phone booth, didn't make a call, was tempted. Was tempted to call this number here if anyone wants to, just for a good time. 50 cents. Not the rapper. I'm not a rapper. Bing, bang, bop, bada bop, boom. End up sleeping.
It's 4:12 right now.
4:12, 4:12.
18 minutes until packet pickup. Let's go. And then race starts at 6 a.m. I was very cold sleeping outside for a few hours in the woods.
It was
So
cold.
we decided to camp out in a porta potty. It was serviced a few days ago. 17, so
It was serviced.
actually, no,
Not that bad.
that's what matters. Gotta stay ready to run.
You know,
Yes, sir.
we're loving it. Yeah, so let's get to the race itself. So we start out here at the starting line in a parking lot. And we're moving. And we're moving. The aid stations were spread out pretty well, I'd say, except for the first one you'll see, which was unnaturally close. 2 miles, like you're not going to gauge anything off of 2 miles, either at the start or at the finish. You have another 2 miles left. You're not gonna, I didn't even stop at this one on the way back. Danbridge. Yep, pretty insignificant. Let's go to daytime. So we're running, having some fun on the trails. I'm running with Uncle Toby for the first 30 miles. We put in 10-minute miles. Let's show y'all these here. Yeah, so you can see 9s, 10s. Grade adjusted pace did absolutely nothing because this was an extremely flat course. But you can see we're rolling until about here. I started catching cramps, but that happens, especially when you have the diet of an absolute champion eating just desserts and cereals all the time. Anyway, some people got lost, started going this way instead. We had GPS, fortunately, and were able to follow the map. If it wasn't a race, this is a place where I'm sure many people would stop and just fish a bit, maybe, enjoy the serenity of it all. Yeah. So we're rolling. We are rolling. Get to Evans Bridge, mile 11.2. It's our first street view we can go into. At this point, everything is just amazing. No problems whatsoever with running. Heat was picking up a little bit, not too much. And this is me. Decided to tie the pants into the shorts, because the heat was getting out there in the middle of this fine day that we decided to embark on a 100 miler.
We should get a belt for. I don't know if I mentioned it. Yeah.
Did I tell y'all I like belts? And so get to Washington Road. We're rolling. At night, a lot of these places that look nice start to look like horror movies, but that's all part of it. What makes it fun, Especially when you're running with a headlamp because it's mandated and obviously you need it a little bit. And since your headlamp is the only source of light in the entire woods, every single moth and animal imaginable, is just colliding with your face, which is great. We love that. We love that around here. Quaker Bridge, not Quaker Bridge Mall. This is the marathon point or marathon left. This is also where I left my hoodie because I saw the forecast and knew it was going to rain. What I did not forecast was my inability to put the hoodie in a dry space. And so instead of putting it in the tent, I put it on the outside, right on the outside. And so it started raining, some mud got in it, a bunch of ticks. By the time I got back with the marathon left, it was just a soggy mess that probably weighed 15, 20 pounds just from all the soaking it did. Here we are, the next Baytona. It's probably my favorite stop. It was the most stocked with everything else. Over here, there was actually a water fountain where you could just spray yourself, cool down a bit. I got some ice tucked under my cap, got to running. You'll see here, we had to make the makeshift turban just to keep cool. Oh yeah, shout out this headband. Shout out Woodhull 2020 squad. Y'all know. Well, if you do know, you do. If you don't, what else to go?
Running, running, running. I'm at speed, running, running. I just noticed it was
Route 532. One of the underrated parts of running these races is actually crossing the roads because when you're just out of it like that, it's a task that can be very hard to do. I don't, yeah. Be careful when you're just moving in autopilot and you have to cross with actual cars. Now we're getting to almost my favorite part of the race. The horn or the tail, however you call it. Of this lollipop race.
I guess you call it the lollipop, it's a lollipop loop, but yeah. So we're moving. We get out here. You gotta go left. To the left, to the left.
I make the mistake of getting onto Cherry Trail by mistake. And I meet a couple that tells me I'm not on Daytona anymore, which is where I realized my bigger mistake is that actually down here, I was supposed to go up and get to the 45-mile checkpoint, go up here and do this loop from the inside, mile 50, and mile 55 and back. So actually, no, sorry, this way around mile 50 and back. So I ended up going the wrong way, left, right, instead of right, left, and ended up doing about 5 more miles. So by the time I got to Mount Misery, I was at mile 55 instead. But luckily, met a few race directors along the way here who were able to see I was running at least the miles I had to get in, and ended up being a lot more because, all this extraness. But what's a race without a challenge, I like to say.
I've never said that before in my life.
Get here to Mount Misery. This is where I take probably my longest stop. I want to say it was 25 minutes just because I'm changing out my shoes. I'm eating food for once, peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Not just Cliff Blocks, which are amazing. I had maybe 20 packs of these overall. Again, having your salts, your pickle juice, sodas. I drank a lot of soda. Candy. That's about it. Yeah, we can turn on the darkness. We love the darkness. At this point around here, I'm a bit before mile 60 in the actual race. For me, that was, mile 65, 66 in terms of my actual legs. But I ran into this other Russian-speaking fellow, Igor. And of course, him seeing me being the only black/colored person at the race, he obviously didn't expect что я могу говорить по-русски. And so when I heard him speaking Russian on the phone and I respond, that moment made my race, to be honest. It's always fun to surprise people with what you know and where you're from when it's least expected. So we run on until the Daytona campground. Again, my favorite pit stop. But I only had 5 minutes to stop here because by the time I reached Mount Misery, it was 11 hours, 30 minutes into the race. And for me to go sub 24 means I only had 12 hours, 30 to do the other way around, assuming I did not get lost. I did get lost also. But, you know, we carry on and move on and trudge through. Even color hoodie. What I ended up doing instead of running with the hoodie.
On this. 20 miles left. So,
Yeah, very fun. I was freezing, but body doesn't realize it until the end, you know, so we're fine anyways. Running Washington Valley, that's the 20 miles left about. Evans Bridge, oh yeah. Danbridge. I run straight past here. I yell out my number, you know, 59, all that stuff. And then we're making the final loops around. Let's follow along for the moment. For glory, for the memes, you know. Imagine just like the race was in creative mode, right? And you guys were there with me. And you see these beautiful stars that we totally see every day and I look up, right? You know, they're totally not blocked out by any smoke or just anything natural stuff, just from seeing the sunlight. All the trees are just flattened out so that you can see the views. You see that little race stop in the distance because of no trees. You see the banner, NJ Double 100 miler. You smell the chili that's been brewing at the end line of this race. And as you round this final corner, you somehow find the energy to hobble sprint. I won't say sprint because that'll be a lie. But just somehow make your way along, get around this bend. And as we are arriving, let's take a little cut over. You know, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. See the finish line start to close in. 6 a.m. is almost approaching. It's FNAF, but you know, instead of dying if you don't live until 6, you die if you're still running and 6 strikes. 5:52. 5:53. Finally make it. And the journey's over. You've done it. And so let's go over post race what happens. 106 miles, 13-minute pace, you know. Burn 17,000 calories, which we're going to eat it back, just trust. And so in terms of stats, we have it here. Ended up being a 50K PR at the time just because those 10-minute miles. So for better or for worse, that's what happened. You can see the mile splits here, going through them to 106.5. There was an extra 1.6 because, as you can see, stopped a bit early. And so overall, we were at 108 miles, 108.3, 23:52:57 moving time. Actual official time was 23:53:11, which netted me number 1 sub 20. Do not ask how many people were sub 20 running this race, but just number 1. That's it's fine. 19th overall out of 187 finishers. Technical difficulties, but that's okay. Let's get back to sharing. We just saw 19th overall. Decent result. You know, the goal was not placement this time. It was just overall getting the sub 24, which did happen, albeit by 7 minutes. But and on a side note, you know, I'm French, Russian, Ghanaian, Haitian, all that. But did you also know I'm Italian? Maybe not by blood, but I mean, look at the pasta. This was the post-race meal that I managed to whip up for myself because love cooking. We'll probably turn this into a cooking channel at some point in time, but can't be stopped. And so also to gain back the 17,000 calories that I ate, that I burnt off, here's a 10,000 calorie Oreo ice cream and butter stick concoction that almost ate all of it, had about half. So yeah. Here's my room post-race at school with all of the Girl Scout cookies. I have a serious addiction to Girl Scout cookies. It's not just stuff that's sweet, especially these. Like they get me. Let me know favorite cookie in the comments or whatever. Post-race. What can I say except I was struggling a lot. like immediately after, just because I was tired, This is me. Wobble wobble. The wobble only really kicks in when you finish the race.
Wait, don't. Okay, I'll.
Yeah. But then like the day after we're back at it. With the doggos.
So, the one I'm playing with is Bronco. The one in the corner. Here's Roxy. This one on 2 legs. I don't know why it walks on 2 legs. His name's Anthony. Yeah. Like to play fetch. All that stuff.
Saw a beaver along the way. Thought that was kind of neat. Bio blitzed it. Got back to school, had English class. Shout out LeBron. Been doing this too long. Final writing assignments went in. It was a haze a lot of that entire week. Just trying to get through life, Rain beyond dead. Shoes beyond dead. All the rain damage did that to him, But I will say the next weekend I was back at it, just on the trails again, because that's what the life's about.
So cool here. Like literally cool. It's a hot day, but also sick yes.
Real, very real. And that run was to Princeton, Lawrenceville, went swimming in the Mercer. That's tradition for me. 46 miles, PR'd on that trail for me. I've ran it a few times, Went bowling, caught a turkey. I mean, what can I not do? Honestly, at this point, all I can really say is like just I'm here! Donuts, donuts, donuts. We love donuts. Yash. Also, on the side note, if you run a lot and you're like me and you sweat, you will look like a crackhead. So you should either be okay with that or carry wipes. I'm personally okay with that because it's fun seeing how people react. That's part of life, but yeah. And this week, current events, there's been Canada wildfires spread over to where we live in Jersey. Got the Mexico
First
filter
time
going on.
over a day that I'm seeing the sun actually. Which is
Real.
wild.
Smell like a barbecue that was cooking for a bit too long. End of days type of beat, Posted with the doggo. And that's the video. Like, comment, whatever it is. Peace out. I'll see y'all.
It's not good.